Welcome to Blissful Consults with yours truly, Dr. Cammy, a PhD licensed psychotherapist with special training in trauma-informed healthcare. West from California wrote in with a question, so let's check it out. I am the manager for a team of about 10 people. We've had a lot of turnover, but I've had one employee that's been with us for 3 years. That employee is so needy, I just can't handle it anymore. They need to be handheld for everything. The interesting thing is that they are a wonderful employee and are always on the mark. She just needs too much babysitting. What can I do about an employee who is constantly seeking approval? Stay tuned for the answer. I have a lot to say about this, and I want you to check it out. Hello, my name is Dr. Cammy, and I am the founder and president of Bliss in Being. We offer cutting-edge psychotherapy and coaching for people who are ready to heal from the effects of chronic stress and trauma. I personally can help you move from the brink of burnout to holistic thriving. It is time for you to finally enjoy the life you have worked so hard to build, and I am here to help you make it happen. Hello, West. Congrats for keeping an employee for several years. It sounds like you have had a ton of turnover, and retaining even one person over several years is really important. It also sounds like this employee needs a lot of emotional support, which I know can feel overwhelming for managers with many employees. I can't say for sure what type of attachment style your employee has, but it sounds like they have some features of an anxious attachment to their work and their team. So I'm going to share a bit more about that attachment style and how you can help your employee feel a little bit more secure at work. So just as a review, individuals with an anxious attachment style, they tend to worry extensively about relationships. People with this attachment style tend to be insecure about themselves and their offerings. They have some elements of low self-esteem, and they need to be in relationships and rely on others to preserve their sense of self. So they might be described as clingy or needy. They analyze and overthink the meaning behind what other people say or do. And they're usually pretty anxious about how they're being perceived by others about their own behaviors and actions. I also want to add, your employee could rightfully feel anxious because they have witnessed so much turnover on their team. When people are constantly rotating in and out of a team, it can create a sense of worry and distrust among team members. Could I be next? Am I missing something? I need to be perfect to keep my job. And then they're constantly seeking that perfection and wanting to keep up appearances. So how can a team lead or manager support an anxiously attached employee in being more secure? Number one is be consistent. So lack of safety is the underlying structure that subconsciously rules an anxiously attached person's way of perceiving their relationships. Many theorists connect an anxious attachment to inconsistent caregiving. Now, you're not doing therapy. You're not going to change someone's attachment style through being their employer, or their boss, or their manager. But what you can do is you can mitigate some of the effects of a negative attachment style by, for example, being consistent. So with an anxiously attached employee, having a one-to-one meeting, setting the meeting time, being consistent about it, providing them with an agenda beforehand can be extremely helpful in reducing some of the connection points that they might want in between a one-to-one meeting. Number two is let them know how you feel on a regular basis. So individuals with an anxious attachment have difficulty believing that you actually appreciate them without very clear signs that indicate they're doing a good job and you don't have any issue with what they're doing. So the idea that no news is good news, that is not true for someone who's anxiously attached. No news is scary news. No news is an opportunity for your brain to create news. So if you don't want your anxiously attached employee creating their own story, you have to give them the story that you want. So if they're doing a good job, let them know. It can be a Slack message, it can be an email, it could be a shout out on your all hands meeting. Reminding them on a consistent basis that they're doing the right thing and reassuring them is helpful. So individuals with this attachment style need reassurance that they're doing well and that you're sticking around. I know it might sound exhausting, but once you integrate it into your daily fabric, I think that you're going to find that it's actually pretty organic, particularly because you had mentioned in your question that this person does a great job anyway. Number 3, when they have made an error, reassure them that their job or reputation is not in jeopardy. Studies show that people with an anxious attachment style are much, much more sensitive and quicker to perceive negative emotions, even if they're very subtle. So they have a unique ability to sense when their relationship is threatened or changed in some manner. They have a tendency to think about the worst case scenario because unconsciously they're fearing rejection, they're fearing critique, they're fearing termination. And it can help to assure them that, hey, you just made a mistake. It doesn't detract from how much we value you on our team. It doesn't mean this is the end. It's one small part in your journey and your growth. As you're helping your employee grow into a more secure attachment, I want to also just recognize the benefits of having someone with an anxious attachment style on your team. So people with anxious attachment are very skilled at detecting threats, detecting risks, and detecting deceit. And also because of their need to be accepted and approved by the group, the anxious employee is often very insightful and self-reflective. They are aware of their own shortcomings and they're willing to discuss them. They're constantly seeking ways to improve themselves and their performance. And ultimately, this makes them really skilled and at their job, and they have a comprehensive understanding of their role. I hope that this was helpful, West, and I really look forward to hearing your updates.